Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Energy Update with me, Rebecca Meisel. If this is your first time joining me, welcome and thank you for tuning in. These energy updates are where I tune into the collective energies for the week ahead and channel any sort of advice and guidance that's needed from my guides to you. So without further ado, let's move into this week's themes. So we're carrying through this strong theme of release work as we move into this week and as we go through this amazing eclipse season. We are continuing to release and let go. So what channeled was times are changing and we must change with it. Adapt, flow, create. Do not fear the change. Embrace it. Are you willing to take the next steps? Are you willing to let the past be the past? Allow the shadow to be released. Allow for the hurt and pain to be free. Play not in the shallows where mankind does sleep. Play in the depths. That's where the treasure lies beneath. Give yourself permission to explore the new. Give yourself permission to step into change. So we have some amazing words of advice that are coming through for us this week, helping us get a renewed perspective of change and allowing ourselves to flow with the change instead of resisting it. You know, so many times that comes through for us in our journey where we're really programmed to fear change because it's really this energy of unknown. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know for sure that we are going to be safe to move forward and to progress. But we're really being challenged right now to really take on this new perspective of change and new perspective of our challenge right now. So we're getting this big indication through the shadow work to really become the champions of our lives and to move forward in this energy of flow. So what I loved were the words that were chosen here: to adapt, flow, and create. We as human beings, we are resilient. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we feel totally helpless to life. Sometimes we feel in that fear state. And it can make us feel like there's nowhere to turn, there's nowhere to go. But we're really getting this opposite energy this week where we're needing to challenge that narrative. We can adapt. We can flow. And that means we can trust. And we can create. So even right now, if you feel like you're at a dead end, if you feel like there's nowhere to turn, nowhere else to go, that you've explored every angle and you're still not satisfied, you're still feeling stuck by life, remember this week how adaptable you are and how you can create a new road for your life, a new road that serves you, that no longer is rooted in these belief systems that keep you in a state of fear, that keep you in a state of the past. So this week we are being very challenged to face these fears and these energies that are making us feel stuck, these energies of our pasts, and being challenged to really go in and question those narratives. What am I ready to stop believing? What am I ready to let go of? Where is a chapter needing to close? And they're showing me the book shut. So it's like or the door shut, sorry. When we get that, it's like, okay, that way is blocked. We can't take that route anymore. The universe might very well be giving you this very strong message in many different avenues in your life right now. For some of us, the door is closing, the chapter is closing on perhaps a career that we thought we were going to stay in. Some of us, it might be a relationship that's ended or changing. For some of us, it's these new boundaries with our health, this in your face energy where it's like, no, you cannot remain in this situation any longer. And we're being challenged by this because maybe we weren't expecting it. Maybe we've had these big moments and challenges come through where all of a sudden the door is closed. And we have to take that moment of shock and adjustment. And it is okay to feel afraid because it's like, well, that was the path I thought I needed to be on, or this is the road that I'm used to. This is what I've journeyed so far. This is where I'm comfortable. But the universe is shaking things up right now, and we need to heed the call. We need to listen when a door is closing. When it is closed, we can either stay there and keep jiggling the knob or keep fighting and resisting that change, or we can let it go and allow ourselves to trust the universe and trust ourselves so much that we know, regardless of that one door closing, doesn't mean it's the end of the road or the journey in your life. It doesn't mean that there aren't new doors that are opening for you. It does not mean that you now are helpless to life. So how can we take on these qualities of adaptability? How can we allow ourselves to trust and to flow? And how can we give ourselves this awareness this week that we can create new ways of living life, new realities for our life, perhaps ones we've never even thought of before? So I'm seeing this week we're going to get a lot of intuitive downloads. So we need to be very open and mindful of things that we are receiving. I'm really hearing the word visualization. So if you find yourself daydreaming and visualizing, these can very well be messages from the universe to you. What do you want now, right? What do you want to create for your life? And how can we embrace change instead of fearing change? So I love this question that was so posed, and it's been really coming up strongly. Are you willing to take the next step? Let that land in you for a moment. Are you really willing? And if you took an honest and hard look at yourself and the way you are reacting currently to the changes in your life, to the shifts that are occurring, are you flowing with it? Or are you standing in resistance to what is actually for your own good? Right? Are we willing to trust? Are we willing to take the steps that are necessary for this change to take place? Because once again, I keep hearing the universe is going, this is no good for you. Whatever the situation is that's arising and you're needing to let go of, it's not good for you anymore. It's not serving your expansion anymore. We need to listen and let go, right? But are we willing to do that? Or are we going to cling on to those old ways of living our lives? Are we going to cling on to those old belief systems that are making us stay small, right? So what channeled next was allow the shadow to be released. Allow for the hurt and the pain to be free. And I love this next little bit that channeled. Play not in the shallows where mankind does sleep. Play in the depths where the treasure lies beneath. Isn't that beautiful? So when I was channeling this, what was really coming through was we might feel very comfortable in what we know, right? And let's be honest here. What do we know? For all of us, we know our given identity. We know our societal programs. We know our family and the conditioning we were given from birth. And these belief systems and programs are very hardwired into us. So we need to have this awareness. That is what's comfortable. That is what makes us feel safe. But we know to really gain the treasures that lie beneath the surface, we need to explore deeper waters. We need to take a seeming risk to explore what might else be possible for us. What else could there be for your life than just these programs and what society has given you? You know, we need to have this awareness of how powerful our egos are. That identity that we have been given, and how that really is running the show behind the scenes so often. How often is it that people tell you something and we take it to heart and we believe it, right? You know, I can think of so many examples of growing up where someone told me something about myself and I never forgot it. And I instantly took that as true. And usually it's the negative things. Usually it's that hurtful thing that someone said to you that we cling on to and hold on to in our hearts, and we never forget it. But how long are we going to allow these negative stories that actually hold us in a state of pain and suffering control the rest of our destiny? So this week we need to be very mindful of, once again, our ego stories and what we're truly believing about ourselves, and catching ourselves in the lie. So as an example, say for years you loved to dance. That was your passion as a child. That's all you wanted to do. But then somebody came in and said you were a bad dancer, that you couldn't do it, you'll never succeed in that, get a real job. Well, then immediately it changes the story and it goes, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I am a bad dancer. Maybe I shouldn't dance at all. And we take that one morsel of feedback, and maybe it was more than one. Maybe it was a compilation of many over the years of our life. And we let those negative comments keep us from dancing, from being free and free to express ourselves in our unique way. So the throat chakra is very highlighted this week with our expression. How are we expressing ourselves fully and honestly and truthfully in this world? So a lot of us are going to have this breakthrough moment this week, and that's what I'm hearing, where it's like, wow, I took that belief to heart and I stopped doing what I loved because somebody told me I couldn't, because somebody told me that I wasn't good at it. And we're going to have this breakthrough moment this week where we're like, wow, I have stifled myself for so long, believing a lie. And we're waking up. We're moving into Scorpio season, and Scorpio is all about the deep depths, the truth. Scorpios are all or nothing. This is the energy we are getting. It's all or nothing right now. What are we going to choose? Are we going to choose to stay in the narrative that hurts us? The narrative that lies to us because it's what we know? Or are we going to be willing to take a leap of faith and go deeper and go within ourselves to find our honest and personal truths. So this is extremely profound and deep work that we are being called to do. It means we have to go in and get very honest about ourselves, about the stories we are saying, and really laying them out to see what they are. And we're literally going through, what do I want to keep now? And what else do I want to discard from my life? So we need to give ourselves permission to do this. Now, this can feel very serious. And the energies with Scorpio, they're serious people. You ever meet a Scorpio, you know that. They can be extremely serious when it comes to exploring the depths of themselves, exploring the truth. They're very passionate. And these are the things we're going to start uncovering this week as we move into these qualities and into these energies. So how can we become passionate about who we are now and start exploring that? So even though there's this heavy energy that's been lingering for quite some time, remember we still have the power of play. We still have the power of joy and curiosity and exploration, right? So don't forget to allow yourself to move into those qualities as well, okay? So you are more than your shadows. Remember the light. Okay, so this was very key. We need to remember the light. We need to not get sucked in by the drama and by the stories and by the deceptions that society might be coming forward with, what we ourselves might be coming forward with when it comes to our lives, okay? We need to remember, I can go through the shadow, but I can also be in the light. I don't have to be all or nothing in one energy. I have the duality of both within me. So remember the light this week, okay? So then came through this beautiful theme of home, okay? So a lot of us are seeking comfort right now. And once again, this might come through in destructive ways. So we need to be mindful, where am I seeking out comfort? And how can we make sure we are seeking comfort in the right ways that work for us rather than against us or sabotage our long-term goals? So we need to be mindful of where we're dipping into extremes this week. And we need to be very mindful of seeking out comfort in that healthy way. So what was beautiful about that was this theme of home. Whenever I think of home, home is like my safe space. It's where I am free to be myself in all ways, where I find my peace. And home is comfort to me. And I feel like that's how it is for most of us. When we come in through the door after a long, hard day, it's that relief that hits. It's like, oh, I'm home, right? And this is what we're being called to create this week, is this haven for ourselves, this place where we can seek out when we need sanctuary, when we need calm within the storm, where we need to shut out the outside noise so we can really retreat and relax, rejuvenate, and when appropriate, do that introspective work. So this week we need to create a sacred space for ourselves, wherever that might be. Now, I've had a lot of people say to me in the past, well, home is not that place for me. Home isn't comfortable for me. my home is a mess right now. I'm going through renovations, or maybe I'm in the middle of a move right now, or maybe I'm between places right now. How on earth am I going to be able to find solace where I'm in this space and it's a big mess, right? We might have that situation, and if that resonates for you, where can you create it? So once again, we are going to be faced with a lot of stories this week. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's impossible. We're going to hear that from ourselves a lot this week. We're going to put limits. We're going to see where we are putting limits on what we're able to do. So once again, you need to remind yourself, adaptability. Remind yourself, am I willing? Because you will find there is always something you can do. Okay? There is always a solution to every problem. So if you're like, well, Rebecca, I can't create a sacred space where I am. I'm not saying that you have to create a huge altar and put all your sacred stuff. That is social media, okay? If you can, wonderful, do that for yourself. But for those of us who say can't afford to buy a bunch of crystals right now, for those of us who don't have all the fancy decor, for those of us who are so busy we barely get a moment for ourselves, that might not be your reality. And that's okay. But what can you do? Can you create sacred space wherever you are? Can you take one corner of your bedroom and go, okay, I'm going to just fill it with whatever I love. Whatever I have right now, I'm going to put this little corner or even this little shelf, and I'm going to fill it with what I do have and things that make me smile, right? It could be as simple as that. It could be as simple as I'm going to go outside for a walk. I'm going to be in nature, and nature will be my sacred space, right? Or I'm going to spend time with someone that feels like family to me, that warms my heart and comforts my soul. That could be your sacred space. Or I'm going to take a bath or a hot shower, and that becomes my sacred space. And we start recognizing that sacred space or home is actually the feeling we create for ourselves. That feeling of comfort, of completeness, of love, the space to be within our own energy. And it's absolutely beautiful, because when we create this space for ourselves, they're showing me this beautiful string tied to the heart, going straight up into the heavens. We are completely connected to the universe, and we're drawing on that connection. So we need to be mindful this week about creating space that feels like home to you. So what channeled? Home runs deep beneath the surface. What is home to you? Is it the people you're with? The ones that you love? Is it your safe space? A place of integrity and love where you can be yourself? So this was beautiful, because what came through next with this beautiful theme of home is where we need to come to this recognition of really coming out of our shell, okay? Because sometimes we need to recognize where that comfort is with home and where we might be actually hiding in our home. And so this is really interesting because once again, we're going to have this duality that comes in this week where we're going to see the positive aspects of things, but then we're also going to see the shadow aspects of things. So maybe we're going to be illuminated to this fine line of, okay, I need to be home. I need to be in my sacred space. But are we almost dipping into the negative aspects of that where we're no longer allowing ourselves to still participate in the real world? And what I mean by that is revealing your true self. Because a lot of times we hear this a lot, and this is definitely, I am included in this, where it's like when I'm home and I can just be by myself, then I can finally relax and then I can recoup my energy, I can recharge, right? But a lot of times what we don't realize is, why are we getting exhausted in the first place just by being in the world? By being out of our normal safe space. Why do we need to be recharged? Why are we seeking out comfort in the first place? Right? So we need to also have this awareness. Yes, take comfort, take space when you need it. But where are we also finding this urge to retract and hide and be safe in our comfort zone, right? So once again, what came through here is, where do you need to come out of your shell? Where are you hiding yourself away? Can you carry your sacred space outside of your home? Can you let yourself be safe in this world? Where do you need to be you, no matter where you are? This was so intriguing. So once again, we're going to get illumination to where we are not being all of ourselves, okay? Because what gets exhausting for most of us is people pleasing. When we are trying to put on an act, a show, or we're trying to control the way people perceive us, that is exhausting because we have to put it on. We have to do it, right? So we're going to have this awareness of, why am I seeking out this safety? Why am I hiding from the world all the time? Is there a reason I'm doing that? More so than it just being a positive rejuvenation experience. Is it because I'm actually still creating a version of me that's not really honest, that's not true? Where am I faking things in this world? Where am I putting on a show? Where am I people pleasing or catering to other people? Now, when I say these things, it might feel like, well, that's really unflattering, right? We might actually be like, oh my God, that's a really unflattering version of me, right? And I'm not saying this to put you down. The universe is not bringing this to our attention to put us down and go, you know what? Oof, you are people pleasing. You shouldn't be doing that. You are being fake. Okay, the universe is not looking at us that way. It's not judging us that way. We are the only ones that judge us. Okay, so be very mindful of your judgments this week, okay? But we need to be honest, okay? Where are we? Maybe shifting things in our external world that really isn't true. Okay, so one thing that came through here that might be a little beneath the surface is trying so hard. Okay? So this is a way that we might not initially think of, right? So what came through was stop trying. Don't try anymore. Practice being. Practice being authentically you. Don't put on a front anymore. Don't hide. You were born to shine. We must conquer our fears of being seen. It is safe to reveal your true self without shame. Okay, so this very strong energy of illusions has been coming through the past few weeks. And once again, we need to be very honest with ourselves to see beyond the curtain. And I talked a lot about that in last week's update. So definitely refer to that if you haven't heard it yet. But we need to see beyond our illusions. So where we are lying to ourselves, or where we are believing something that isn't true. And one of these big things is it's not safe for me to show myself to the world, right? So that's why I need to show this one version of me that is acceptable by others. I need to show that I am this person rather than who I really am. So this is super tough because all of us have been sold a very specific story of what all of us must look like, what all of us must be like, how we must act, what we must do. We've even given a timeline to everybody of where they need to be in their life. We've told them this is the appropriate age that you should be doing this, doing that. Oh, you're not in a relationship? Well, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you dating anybody? Why aren't you making more money? Why are you working that job? Oh, are you going to be successful if you do that? See how we have so many standards that are complete BS. It's complete BS. There should be no cookie cutter way to live your life. That's so boring. That is not true. We are here to create our lives, our destiny. We have free will. Yes, we have a soul plan, but guess what? We get to dictate it. We still have choice. So this is where we're going to be calling out a lot of these illusions this week that are making us feel like we need to hide, right? So once again, there is no blame here. A lot of us are putting on this front because that is what we feel is necessary for love. That is what we feel we must do to be successful in life. And a lot of it is from safety standpoint. We don't feel safe expressing our true selves. So we need to nurture those parts of ourselves, not blame them, not judge those parts and go, well, oh my gosh, I'm a people pleaser. How unattractive is that? No, that's such a judgment, right? So if you catch yourself in those patterns this week, take a step back and go, no. Right, Rebecca told me on the energy update, I'm not going to judge myself, right? Remember that, please. Be kind to yourself, please, this week. Give yourself compassion. You are creating a new life for yourself, a new way of thinking, feeling, being. So give yourself this grace, okay? So find those parts of yourselves, those shadow aspects that need love this week. And you need to hold that little inner child's hand and go, okay, I see this part of me is terrified. It's scared. And I got to be honest about it. I don't want to show my true self. I'm hiding because I'm afraid. Or I'm hiding because who can love me? I'm just me. I'm just that. I'm not here. I'm not there. Right? we're going to have these feelings. Even if they're not true, emotions are not logical. So remember that before you judge them. Go, right, this is the innocent version of me that got dropped into this world and has had to adapt. That was fed all of these stories of shame. That was fed all of these lies. So don't beat yourself up for finally seeing what you were really taught. Don't judge yourself if you're angry, if you're upset, if you feel the injustices that you have suffered in this life. Feel them freely. Okay? We need to stop judging ourselves. And once again, in this Scorpio energy, we need to feel the emotions. Scorpio is one of the deepest, most emotional signs. So if your emotions are all over the place, it's supported. This energy serves a reason. And just so you know, your emotions are beautiful. Being emotional is beautiful. Look at you feeling everything you could possibly feel. That is pure strength. Do you know how many people do not go into their emotions? Because it's uncomfortable, because it's scary. But look at you. Look at you. Look how powerful you are. Remember that. Remember that this week. Being emotional is not a bad thing. And become aware of any of those stories too that say it is. So we need to let go. This is so huge, this theme of surrender. We need to let go of our pasts, of the hurt, and all of these preconceived ideas that we have about ourselves. So what came through was, you are enough just as you are. Notice where you still hide. Notice where you still have shame over who you are. You must let this go. And they're showing me an arrow, a bow and arrow, where we pull the drawstring back and we release the arrow at our target. We might feel like we're being pulled back right now. But guess what? This energy is what's going to propel us forward. That's going to help us meet our target, our goal. So let this propel you. Don't let any of these stories regress your progress. You have come so far. You have come so far. What good would it be if you gave up now? Keep going, my friends. You deserve this. You deserve to let go of this big shadow and to embrace the beauty of you. It's time for you to see yourself as we do, as your guides do, as the people who love you in your life, how they see you. Okay, we need to let go of these beliefs that say we're not good enough. So what continue to channel here? Let go of hate, anger, and blame. Where are you angry at the world? Okay, so this was a very good point. When we come to this awareness this week of the injustice that we have faced, the injustices that are happening, it might spur actual hatred, anger, and blame. Okay, these are very strong and powerful emotions that will come up when we are thinking and revisiting these injustices this week. Because this theme of injustice is definitely coming through here. So once again, we need to embrace these emotions. We need to feel them, and we need to release them and work through them in a healthy way. Okay? But what came through was this fire, this anger at the world, this anger. Why? Why has this happened? Why did I have to endure what I endured? Whatever that why is for you, okay? We need to feel that. But what came through next was absolutely amazing. The question was posed, where do you want to inspire change? Okay? Instead of looking at what you hate, can you use it as the fuel for purpose? What changes are necessary now? Where are you being called to step up and lead? Lead with love, not hate. Do not let negativity become your motivation. Only from pure intent can hope spring. Guide your vessel and lead with love. And what was beautiful with the Guide Your Vessel, they showed me the heart center, and literally it glowing with this beautiful purple aura where it was just being led, like it was almost like it was coming out of the chest, moving us forward, guiding us forward. And purple is a very spiritual color. It's the color of our crown chakra. It's the color of the divine. So the divine is leading us through love. The divine is leading us through our heart space. So once again, the heart center is so really in focus this week. Where are we needing to make these next steps in our journey through this motivation of love? And I love this so much because once again, we might get really triggered this week with those difficult emotions, the anger, the blame, the hatred. Okay? We might have that come up and we might get so fired up. It's like, well, then we need to change this. We need to talk about this. We need to have this happen. And you can see that in people when it comes through. So be very mindful of your tongue this week because that's really coming up. We might want to lash out this week. We might want to tell people what's what this week. But don't do that. Okay, that's the advice. Don't do that this week. Okay, we might want to, but you're coming from your anger. You're being blinded by your anger. This world does not need more anger. This world does not need more hate and blame. So yes, feel it, but feel it to heal it. Don't feel it to create it more so in your life. Don't give it more of a foothold than it needs to have, right? So we might really want to speak out and be mean this week. We might not care about what other people think or their feelings because we're hurt. We're upset. This injustice happened. But we don't need to do that to prove a point. That is not taking action in love. So once again, the flip side of this, if this happens this week and you get this from others, have this awareness. Okay? Have this awareness. Oh yeah, that's a big theme this week. People are going to be upset. People are going to be angry. People are going to want to lash out. Maybe there's going to be this energy of walking on eggshells a bit this week. But once again, we need to remind ourselves excuse me, it is healthy for us to feel these things, but the way we choose to express it is also just as important. So exercise, movement of your body, allowing anger to move through you, allowing yourself to journal and be honest about how you feel, letting it out in those healthy ways is going to serve you so much this week. Okay? So moving from there, how can we let these things inspire change in us through the motivation of love? So once again, we might need to change the story a little bit and go, okay, well, how can I help others who are going through injustice? How can I help people? How can I give them love and support? Go back and think about the younger version of yourself and the injustice you endured. Go back to that version of yourself and go, okay, what did I need in that journey? If you've gone through specific challenges, how are you being called to help others who've gone through the same thing or who are going through that thing? How can we help them? How can we send love to these individuals, right? So this is an example of where we might start getting motivation this week. Oh, wow, I just realized actually I want to just send love to these people. I want to help these individuals who feel this way. So we might get this amazing inspiration this week that helps us remember why we're here, why our soul chose to have these injustices, these experiences. Could there be a bigger purpose involved? Okay? So once again, how can we lead from love? And I love this because it was like only from pure intent can hope spring. So once again, what would you rather? Would you like to build your next chapter on hate, on blame, on anger? Or would you like to build your new foundation from a space of love? Because I guarantee you, people will know the difference. You can tell when someone is hurt and they're speaking from that hurt, from that anger, from that wound, as opposed to when they genuinely want to help people. So notice the difference in yourself this week. So moving from there, we have a huge theme of creativity. Can you let yourself create? All right, this is amazing. So a lot of passions and motivations are coming through this week. So can you let yourself create? Removal of creative blocks. What's standing in your way of growth, expansion, and play? What is holding you back from pursuing your creative passions? Explore where you are in resistance to joy, to where you are resistant to self-love. Where are you still in self-punishment? This needs to stop now. It is hindering your purpose. It is time to free your heart. What a beautiful theme. So we need to start moving into our creative passions this week and notice what blocks come through. If we start something and then we stop, why? Why are we getting in our own way? Why are we not following through on our creativity? Are you finding that your joy and creativity come last in your day? Is it something that maybe you don't even get to for weeks or months? Or is there a passion that you used to love that you left behind years ago? We need to allow ourselves to reinvigorate our reasons for being here, for really being here. We're here to also enjoy the journey, my friends. So where are you withholding this goodness from yourself? Where are you withholding, once again, the truth of who you are? Because all of us have this creative side to ourselves, this place that wants to be full of expression, this space within us that wants to play and have fun. So where are we withholding that joy? And in essence, self-love. That is an action of love that you can take every day, is by doing something that you love, that you are passionate about, that you enjoy. That is self-love, my friends. So stop any self-punishment. Stop anywhere that you find yourself withholding goodness for yourself. And once again, becoming aware. Why? Why can't I follow through? Why am I not starting that project I know I want to start? Why am I not finishing this project I know I want to finish? Where are you hindering your own purpose? Through stories of self-shame. Okay? Now, this is actually translating to our finances as well this week. So we're being illuminated to where we are staying small and holding ourselves back. Okay, now money is a big way we can be actually sabotaging and holding ourselves back from fulfilling our purpose. Think about it. If you don't have money, how can you really do all the things you want to do? The hard reality is most of us need money to expand in the ways we want to expand. There's always ways we can do it without, but it is harder, right? So where are we withholding the gift of wealth in our lives? Where have we got a story that limits us, that says, oh, it'll never happen for me. I'll never be rich. I'll never be able to be abundant. I won't ever find a good job, right? Well, are you limiting yourself? Are you trying to punish yourself? These are subconscious ways we can actually be doing this without even realizing we're doing it. So what came through was another method is overspending. Can you keep money? If you can't keep it, why? Why are you giving it away? Why are you spending it? Why are you not planting the seeds for your future? Why are you not saving, right? So we need to have this awareness when it comes to money. There's a lot of energy that we associate money with. And a lot of these stories are success. Well, I can only be successful if I have money. That's also another one that might come through that isn't true, right? We need to redefine success and reward ourselves in healthy ways this week by going, okay, well, where else am I successful in my life? What does success look like for me? We're reframing our mindsets, right? So where are we self-sabotaging? Through money, through finances, and where are we holding ourselves back? And this can come through in that big story that came through in our themes earlier of revealing our true selves. Well, are you perhaps subconsciously doing that, hiding yourself by having that excuse, well, I don't have money to do it. I don't have money to advance in my business. I don't have money to put myself out there, to pay for marketing, to whatever, right? Is that perhaps a way subconsciously you are trying to keep yourself safe, right? So there can be a lot of these different things that tie in that we might not even realize when it comes to our finances. So we need to explore those stories. How do we actually feel about money? Where are we putting too much importance on it? Where are we associating money with success? And how can we see the difference, right? So we're going to have to do a bit of planning this week. And what was really coming through is a lot of us are needing to create a budget, right? Where do we need to put a budget in place? Where do we need to hold true to that budget and have that self-discipline? Some of us need to create an exit plan. So this is very interesting. Some of us might be leaving a job. And that's what is really coming through this week is some of us might have left a job, are leaving a job. Maybe you're in that situation and we need to create an exit plan. So what came through was strategize and stay heart open. Don't let logic sabotage your growth. So this is super interesting. So do what you need to do, strategize, really iron out those details, but also stay heart open. And I love this because sometimes we can really look at the numbers and we can really go into the logic of things. Well, I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't leave my job because I need this, that, and this. Or it's safe. It gives me this, is that. But once again, we're being encouraged this week. Where are you trying to stay small? Where are you going to prioritize safety over purpose, right? So we need to stay open-hearted and listen to the heart. When it's ready to go, it's ready to go. We had that visual, the heart leading us this week. The divine is leading you through your heart. So where do you need to give your heart more credit? Okay, so don't let your logic run away with you this week. Start trusting your heart, okay? So make a plan, but follow your heart, all right? So really interesting stuff that was coming through. Wow, I'm going way over time this time, but we're almost done here. Let's see. So what can we do? What is within our power to change? So this was really interesting. When it comes to our finances, once again, we might feel powerless. So what can we do? What can we change? And what was really coming through is making sure we're allocating this stream of energy and money properly to fuel our long-term goals. Okay? So ask for help, right? Now, one thing that really came through is we need to prioritize certain things. So write down your priorities. What is it that I really need to allocate money to? What is really important in my values? And where do I not want to compromise, right? So a lot of times we can cut things out, but at the same time, they're like, make sure there's some non-negotiables there. So if there's certain things like your health, your mental well-being, those types of things we need to prioritize, say, over buying a new outfit or going out for dinner, right? So really get aware, where are you spending your money? And is it really being spent where it should be spent? And if not, how can we prioritize those things? So this week, one of those examples is our healing, right? How often are we actually investing in our healing journey? Because guess what? The more we heal, the more that propels us forward into the reality that we are dreaming of, a healed version of self. The more we invest in our health and well-being, the longer we're going to have on this earth, right? So these are things we need to prioritize. So where are you not prioritizing them? Okay? So once again, we might have this excuse, well, I don't have money to do it. I don't have money to take care of myself. I don't have money to invest in my health. I don't have the money to get a gym membership. Or I might not have the money to go to this naturopath or get a healing session, right? But are those not just excuses? Because are we spending money elsewhere, right? And it's totally viable. If we don't have that expenditure, then we don't. But really take a look at the numbers and go, okay, well, did I really need to go out to eat this one night? Or did I really need to, buy those pair of jeans, right? We really need to be mindful of what we're actually prioritizing. So this is where we need to look at our money properly and really see, okay, where do I need to properly prioritize? And then once again, do I have anywhere where I can save for my long-term goals? So once again, we need to map out our long-term goals. What are they? If you know you want to save up to take a trip to Bali in a few years, then can you start saving for it? Can you start showing the universe, look, I'm going to take this trip to Bali, right? So we need to, once again, just be very mindful where the energy goes, right? Because where energy goes, it flows. So we really need to be mindful. So ask for help. A lot of our angels want to be present this week to help us with this, to help us really get a proper mindset of our money, to help us move through these challenges and get this higher perspective, but also to let go of challenging situations like perhaps a job that's no longer serving. So what I actually heard, and this might be a very specific message for someone, but I heard time to go. Leave the old behind. Ask the angels to help you release a negative mindset and emotional attachments. It's time to be free. to focus on what really matters, healing the world. You may feel in a vulnerable position, but you are in the best position possible. Now, what came through next was so amazing. So once again, this might be a blessing in disguise situation. We might be really challenged right now. Maybe everything in what we thought is crumbling down around us right now. Maybe things are looking really bad. But I love how this came through. You might feel vulnerable, but you are in the best position possible. So we are asked to ask these questions. What if this is a protection? What if this is the catapult needed to send me flying towards my dreams? What if I'm now ready to create my own destiny? Okay, this was so beautiful. So some of us, maybe we've been put in this position where maybe we've lost our job. And we're like, this is the worst position I could be in. I don't feel safe. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. We might have those really real fears right now. But have we considered the flip side of the coin? Have we considered maybe you are in this position actually to propel you to where you've been asking the universe to be? Right? What if you needed to get out of there? What if this is actually a protection for you? So how can we really start changing our perspectives this week? And ask the angels to help you. Okay? Ask your guides, show me the way forward. All right? So from here, we have this beautiful theme of rediscovering our joy, our divine feminine, our inner child. Let these aspects of yourself lead this week. Okay? So one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. You are fully supported. This was so beautiful. You are fully supported. So lead through love. And I also want to say lead through fun, right? Not everything needs to be serious this week. It's going to feel serious, but don't make it overly serious. Make sure you prioritize fun and joy and play, okay? Because all of these things will work out. Once again, all of these situations that we're facing right now are temporary. We will get through this. We are resilient. We are powerful. So remind yourself of this and remind yourself you're never alone, okay? The universe loves you. It's supporting you. And maybe these challenges that you are facing are truly a blessing in disguise, okay? Every challenge provides us an opportunity to discover a deeper meaning to our lives. Okay, maybe these challenges are that gateway to something amazing for us. So trust solutions are going to appear. Allow yourself to move beyond the fear that you will uncover this week to see the limitless potential of you. So my friends, that's all I have for us this week. What a long reading, but a powerful one. And I really hope it resonated and can help each of you as you move forward into these intense energies. So remember to have fun, play. You have got this. And if you need my support, please connect with me. Once more, I have many different session offerings, Reiki training offerings, mentorship offerings. So please connect if any of these call. Sending you all so much love and light. Have a beautiful and blessed day, my friends. Bye.